Close your eyes. Now imagine waking up in a completely different world. This time, you're not watching the story, you're living it.
So let's set the scene with Section 1, the impossible battlefield.
You're standing right at the edge of a war zone that honestly shouldn't even exist. The sky above you, it's literally torn wide open by these blinding, impossible cracks of light. You can actually see reality itself bending and warping at the edges, almost like some giant invisible hand is just folding the physical world inward. You can feel it right in your bones, you know? Every instinct is screaming that this isn't just your run-of-the-mill superhero brawl. No, this fight right here, this could decide whether our world, heck, maybe the entire universe even gets to keep existing.
And right smack in the middle of all this reality-bending chaos, we've got two figures facing off. On one side, there's our gold and blue hero, the Sentry, just absolutely radiating this near-limitless energy. And standing opposite him, the green and silver armored villain himself, the always calculating Dr. Doom. What's absolutely wild about this setup is how it elevates the stakes. This isn't just about who punches harder or who has the flashier cosmic powers. This is a terrifying, high-stakes battle for the actual fabric of reality. It's raw, completely unchecked power, going toe-to-toe with masterful manipulative genius.
Which brings us to Section 2, a calculated provocation. Doom speaks first, and his tone is just, man, it's so calm, measured, almost gentle even. It's exactly how someone sounds when they've already won an argument that nobody else in the room realized they were having. And notice this, he doesn't even raise a weapon. He really doesn't have to. He simply studies our golden hero with the patient curiosity of a scientist looking at a variable in an equation he's already completely solved. He just looks at him and says, with this chilling calmness, "You're afraid of yourself." That's rather inconvenient, isn't it?
Now, Sentry doesn't answer right away. Looking at him, you can genuinely feel the immense, agonizing effort it's taking just for him to stand there. He's trying so hard to keep it together and stay contained. It's literally like watching someone throw their entire body weight against a heavy door to keep some massive, terrible thing from busting through the other side. When he finally does speak, his voice is steady, sure, but you can hear it strained to the absolute breaking point. "I'm not here to lose control. I'm here to stop you."
Things escalate quickly in Section 3, the tearing of reality. Doom doesn't even flinch. He simply raises a single hand. Suddenly, the air around him visibly warps, reality literally folding inward like a crushed-up piece of paper. And then, a massive crack forms in the sky right above them, and it is widening fast. What we're looking at here is an incursion. That's two realities actively colliding, threatening to completely swallow this entire battlefield whole. If this tear in reality isn't stopped in the next ticking seconds, well, there won't be a battlefield left. There won't be an Earth left to fight on, period.
Sentry moves without even a split second of hesitation. He throws himself directly into that widening crack in the sky. He physically presses both of his hands against something invisible and just impossibly heavy. It is a completely desperate, unthinkable move. He's literally trying to hold two colliding universes apart through sheer willpower and raw molecular force. You can see his whole body visibly shaking with the mind-bending effort of just keeping existence intact.
The terrifying urgency of this moment is just off the charts. Blinding golden light starts pouring forcefully from his eyes, from his skin. These jagged cracks of energy spread down his arms like lightning that's desperately trying to escape a container way too small to hold it. He is basically a cosmic reactor on the absolute edge of a full-blown meltdown, holding the entire universe together with his bare hands.
And here's where things take a truly dark turn in Section 4, the Void listens. All the while, Dr. Doom is just watching this cosmic strain with this clinical, downright terrifying interest. And right here is where Doom's true, incredibly dark motive fully comes to light. Every single ounce of that strain, every tiny flicker of Sentry losing control, that's exactly what Doom was waiting for. He steps a bit closer, his voice dropping way down, just dripping with this dark, calculating intent. "Push harder," he tells him. "I know what's underneath. I want to meet it." See, Doom's actual plan the whole time was to deliberately push Sentry so hard that it unleashes the hero's inner darkness.
And this is where that feeling of pure dread really sets in. Because for one terrifying split second, something shifts in Sentry's expression. If you look closely, his eyes actually darken right at the edges. This thin, creepy tendril of black shadow starts curling from the corner of his eye, looking exactly like dark ink bleeding into clear water. The void,
That unimaginably destructive shadow entity living inside him is listening, and it desperately wants out. Doom? He just smiles. Because this was the real endgame all along. Not to beat the hero, but to unleash the infinitely more dangerous monster hiding inside of him. The absolute horror of the situation hits Sentry instantly. He realizes exactly what Doom is doing, even as he's pouring everything he has into holding reality shut. Talk about an impossible paradox. He can't let go of the Incursion to fight Doom, right? Because the world ends. But he also can't keep fighting the Incursion without losing his fragile, rapidly fading grip on his own sanity. Every single choice in front of him literally leads to a reality worse than the last.
Which brings us to the climax, Section 5, an impossible choice.
With that massive crack in the sky now just inches away from tearing wide open, the suspense is honestly unbearable. Is the sky going to shatter? Is the darkness going to completely consume him? The outcome is completely up in the air here. But in this final, incredibly desperate second, our hero makes a choice that absolutely nobody, not even the genius Dr. Doom, saw coming.
Instead of desperately fighting back that darkness rising up inside him, Sentry does the unthinkable. He actually pulls it inward. He makes this shocking, desperate gamble to channel every single ounce of the Void's terrible, destructive power and points it directly at sealing the Incursion. He is literally weaponizing his own worst demon to plug up the disaster, rather than letting it loose to feed his own destruction.
Suddenly, this blinding golden light and pitch-black shadow twist violently together around his hands. It's this completely unstable, frankly terrifying fusion of pure creation and utter annihilation. For a breathless, harrowing moment, you're watching this and it is genuinely unclear whether he is saving the world or ending it completely.
And that leads us into the fallout, Section 6, a costly victory. For the very first time, Doom's infuriatingly calm expression finally cracks. Just a little bit, but it's there. Because that tear in reality, it starts sealing shut way faster than even his genius-level calculations predicted. Humanity's most dangerous, volatile weapon just took Doom's own worst nightmare and turned it into the exact solution needed to stop the disaster. Above them, the sky stitches itself fully closed. That silent, kind of eerie calm of the battlefield completely returns. Sentry just collapses onto one knee, breathing so hard, utterly and completely exhausted. And that terrifying black shadow? It slowly retreats back beneath his skin. He survived. He somehow just proved that even his absolute greatest weakness could be turned into his ultimate strength.
But here is what's genuinely chilling about the whole thing. It's Doom's reaction. Dr. Doom just stands there, studying the exhausted hero for a long moment. Then, he turns and simply walks away without uttering a single word. But make no mistake here, guys. This is absolutely not a retreat. It's a recalculation. It just proves that this entire terrifying ordeal was merely one single data point in a much larger, much darker plan that is still unfolding.
That's what it would feel like, right? The most powerful Avenger forced to choose between his absolute greatest fear and the fate of everything, going up against a villain who wanted exactly that choice to break him. So I gotta ask you guys, do you think Sentry can really control the Void long enough to stop Dr. Doom for good in Avengers Doomsday? Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to What If With You for more crossover stories like this one.